Jeff Gorton met with the media today.
Is it a case closed that Michael Hage will return to school next season, or is there more discussion behind potentially changing?
Well, that's a good question. I think we've talked to Michael a lot. He's told us that he would like to stay in school, and we've kind of left it there. But we also told him that take some time, and it's a long summer, things happen, maybe we add people, maybe we don't, maybe there's something that you see that changes your mind, maybe something happens at Michigan that changes your mind, so we left it open. We'll continue to talk to Michael, but we're going to respect his opinion, and if he wants to change that, we'll be open to that discussion. If he wants to stay there, we'll support him with that.
Second question.
He didn't need to say all that. Why did he say all that? He could have just said, Michael Hage is committed to going back to school, and we support that. Let's talk about it.
We let the people decide.
So yeah, an interesting response from Gorton when asked about Michael Hage and whether or not it was a sure thing that he would be headed back to college next year. Kent and Jeff have always kind of been persistent about this topic. If you're trying to read between the lines, it feels like the plan was really to have Hage join the team this season. But talk around the inner circles of the Montreal Canadiens make it sound like it's a smart thing for Michael Hage to rejoin the University of Michigan. So this comment might lend a little bit of insight into why Jeff and Kent have been so persistent. Things might change, right? Just like this community subscriber count, we are scraping at 26,000 subscribers. Can you help me get there? Slowed down for a bit. Now it's picking back up. Thought maybe we could hit 26,000 by the end of summer, but it's looking like maybe 27,000 is a better target to aim for. Everyone else, you can still help the channel by hitting that like button, commenting down below, hyping the video, sharing on social media. Have you ever done that? That's probably a great thing. I'd really appreciate that. Alors, qu'est-ce que je pense de tout ça? What are my unfiltered thoughts about what's happening here? To me, yes, I am reading a little bit between the lines here and seeing that Kent and Jeff wanted Hage to join the team at this season. It makes sense because without making the moves that I think that they're going to make, the cap space is around $11 million. Plus, they're definitely signing Arber Xhekaj and Zach Bolduc. And when I say definitely, I mean definitely at this point in time. As I'm recording this video, anything can happen. But those would be depreciated assets if they don't do something with them. Both restricted free agents, of course. So you have room to make one juicy move, depending on what moves with it. And then, of course, take into consideration Samuel Montembeault and Brendan Gallagher. You've got a little bit of space. I think to call this offseason a success, they have to add, but adding an individual like Reinbacher, like Michael Hage, like Owen Beck would go a long way in making things fresh and potentially improving the team, significantly. So if you're thinking about Michael Hage, Reinbacher, and Owen Beck, Hage would be the crown jewel of those additions. It's clear that Montreal have been looking for a winger, someone who could fit on the second line and maybe insulate whatever center they put into that position. I think that lends credence to what Gorton said in terms of things might change in Montreal, things might change in U of M. Do I think that this is a message directed at Michael Hage? I don't necessarily think so, although I do think that they've continued talking to him. I think that Gorton's just being honest here and saying that, hey, yeah, we're thinking about it. We would like if he joined us this season, but we've left the ball in his court. I think that Hage probably knows that that's the deal. Do I think now, after what's happened, going into the summer, Hage is more likely to go to Montreal? No, I actually don't think so. It was recently announced that Landon DuPoint is headed to Michigan. That means Hage will be playing with Will Horcroft, Adam Valentini, JP Hulbert, Malcolm Spence, Jordan Perron, Jack Nesbitt, Henry Muse, Cam Reed, Jack Ivankovic, and more talented young players. That's a lot of skill. That's a lot to build on. So I think it would be a really good experience for Hage to stay in the NCAA. But if the Montreal Canadiens acquired another talented winger, and you're a competitive athlete that wants to play at the highest level, why wouldn't you? So it's an interesting point to be at, but if you're asking me, yeah, I'd like to see Hage join the team at the start of the season. I understand that it's a big step, and I know that right now maybe he isn't trending to be an NHL-ready center, But we've talked about how Demidov plays. He drives the play. He brings the puck over the line. A lot of Hage's work is probably already done for him. Plus, Montreal, I'm obviously very biased, but they develop their players really well. They take their time. They don't mess them up. They have a good culture. It's a brotherhood. They're all friends. I don't know. What do you guys think? In other news, apparently Brady Tkachuk is making good strides towards his future in Florida. Sources say he's already learned the first 4 letters of the word Florida. But all jokes aside, I mean, monitoring that, I can't believe Florida was able to make that work. They also got Garnet Hathaway earlier today, and now all eyes are on them to see who they land in terms of a goaltender. They could very well land Connor Hellebuck. All they'd have to do is send Lundell the other direction. Do they want to give Lundell up? I think this is the type of team that would rob Peter to pay Paul. I gotta admire what they're doing, honestly. But I'd be lying to say that I don't look forward to the dark days in Florida again. And as I'm recording this video, Val Nichushkin being traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's 6.125 off the books for Colorado. They're getting a draft pick in return, apparently. So that does make me wonder what's going on with Werenski. Blue Jackets have a ton of cap space, $32 million. Do they want to re-sign Boone Jenner? What happens with Mason Marchment? And of course, Cole Sillinger and Adam Fantilli are both restricted free agents. I think that Kent Johnson might be heading to the market. So things, again, they're continuing to warm up. And I feel, although it is painful, it makes sense that Hughes is biding his time, waiting for teams to settle and maybe waiting for trades to cool down, because it's a swarm right now. The thing you don't want is to get into a bidding war when you've targeted a player on the market. So you almost want to watch your opponents spend their whole wad, recognize that they're probably done, and then swoop in and pick up the vultures' leavings. Well, I'm going to continue monitoring the market, and if something big happens, expect to see me again. Because even now, as I am finalizing this video, editing it, and waiting to render it, I stopped the presses because information about Vinny Trocheck has come out. It looks like the Rangers are looking for a first-round pick and a solid asset or a prospect. Sabres are in on it. Montreal was seen as kicking the tires, and the Minnesota Wild are interested as well. So that's another one you got to keep your eye on. Until then, you guys know what to do. Hit the like button, helps me out with, I don't know, probably something. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.
Hey!